First Stanford pitcher to win that honor, first team all-league, and started yesterday with a nation-best .50 ERA, and that dropped down to .48 after her 5 scoreless, hitless frames. And we are underway with a called strike by home plate umpire Chelsea Clark. And for the second straight day, not a cloud in the sky here on Stanford's campus. Check swing, looked at third, she didn't go. 1 ball, 1 strike on Sierra Sacco, the first-year Bulldog, transferring in after 2 seasons in Ruston, Louisiana with Louisiana Tech. Gorgeous conditions on a day where lightning, rain have hampered some action in other parts of the country.
Mentally, you love that as a player because it's not in your head if we're going to have a delay here, a delay there. You look at the forecast on Thursday, you see the sunny skies, you see the 70 temperatures, and you're locked in. Let's play ball.
Quite a start for Nigeri Kennedy as she fans Sacco, and it's the 11th strikeout of the weekend for Kennedy.
Next up to the Bulldogs, number 6.
So efficient, the sophomore, using the rise, didn't throw a changeup. She's not going to throw it unless she feels like she needs it because of the velocity she provides. Usually the first couple of at-bats, you see the velocity with how late the swings are against her. She brings it 70, 71, 72.
And that's a bit of a luxury to not have to go deeper into the repertoire and be able to say, I can beat you with this one pitch and not have to show you anymore.
And it's funny because offensively, you know the rise is coming, but she throws it on the different planes and the different levels. And when it's 70 miles an hour up at your hands, it's so hard to lay off.
Paige Cook, check swing, and another 2-strike count.
You will also see a lot of check swings like that because you have to make up your mind so quickly. That's what velocity does.
Mississippi State, great competitors this year, 14-12 against ranked teams during the regular season, and Stanford, the number 8 national seed. And if they hold that seed and win this regional, they'll take on the winner of the Baton Rouge regional, hosted by LSU. As the fans were milling about, waiting to get their tickets scanned and walk into the ballpark today, walking around the concourse, I saw 2 fans in purple and gold, LSU fans. Ooh. Here at Stanford, maybe on a scouting mission, if that indeed were to be the matchup. 1-2, and Cook is fanned. Back-to-back strikeouts to begin the day.
Working the low rise. Doesn't have to go too high, especially so early in the game, just establishing this is the pitch that I'm going to start you with, and I'm going to climb the ladder as the game progresses. You see the spin. Oh, man, that's so tough. It starts belt high. Spin is so tight. Oh, yeah, and it's bringing some heat, too.
I'm not one to keep up with trends, but I was told low rise went out of style around 2015.
No way.
Nigeri Kennedy bringing it back. Now Madison Kennedy, 17 home runs this year. First team All-SEC, and led the league in slugging percentage and home runs during regular season action. And just like that, Kennedy ahead 0-2. A fearless start for the sophomore. Kennedy climbs the ladder, strikes out the side. 1-2-3 in the top.
I live for when you have ace on ace, and she threw as well as she's thrown all season yesterday. The shutout to open up this regional, and throws in the mid-60s, has a lot of spin with that curve and rise. Fifth-year senior, a huge statement yesterday for her team.
Taryn Kern's line yesterday, if you didn't watch the game, you'd go, it doesn't necessarily jump off the page at you. Her game was amazing at the plate yesterday. She officially had 1 at bat, scored 2 runs, drove in a run, which did not come by swinging the bat. It was a bases loaded walk, and she walked twice. And on top of that, a couple of really standout defensive plays as well from her second base spot. And she's over to first again, her team leading 19th time she's been hit by a pitch this year.
And right away, Coach Ricketts and pitching coach Taryn Mowat out of the dugout, not happy about this call. Taryn Kern, you can see where she's lined up. She is toes almost over the chalk. Of course, that's not a strike, that's a ball, but it does hit her back hip. And that's definitely going to be a point of emphasis when you pitch against Taryn Kern. She's on the plate, but how much over the plate is she?
Whoa, look out on the throw behind over there as Salen Hawkins, the second baseman, comes over to get in front of that. But there was a play yesterday late in the game between Stanford and St. Mary's that went under replay review where a St. Mary's batter was hit by a pitch, but her hands were in the strike zone. And on the field, it was called strike 3.
Yep.
And so chatted with Jessica Allister, the Stanford head coach, today about that, just to get what the official ruling was from the umpiring crew, because the batter had said, no, that hit the knob of my bat. But the call on the field was that it hit the hand was in the strike zone. That was confirmed on replay review, which ended up being a strikeout for Nyjah Kennedy.
Now, when you get a hitter that is that much on the plate and you have a fifth-year senior in the circle, the mentality is not to back away and not challenge inside. You're still going to go inside just because a hitter is crowding home plate. This is my strike zone. You just want to make sure there's some pre-pitch communication to the umpire. And this is our game plan. We see that she's on the plate. I am not going to back down. I'm going to throw my curve inside. Stick with me on the strike zone.
Is that a delicate balance to talk to the umpire before the game and say, hey, I want you to look out for this, but without risking annoying them before the game starts?
Definitely the catcher's responsibility. When you have a freshman behind the plate like Mississippi State does, you're going to trust that she's going to do that, but you always want to have a little bit of pre-game communication with that umpire. Hey, this is our game plan. Just letting you know, a little heads up, stick with us.
Aspen Wesley, the strikeout of Emily Jones, 1 down.
This was a money pitch for Aspen Wesley yesterday. It's the off-speed rise ball. You can see how floaty it is. It's still tailing up through the zone, even though it is an off-speed pitch. Emily Jones swinging away, way out on the front side.
Now the freshman first baseman, Ava Gall. What makes the off-speed rise a unique pitch?
It tunnels exactly the same as Aspen Wesley's rise, and she doesn't really throw anything down in the zone, so everything that Stanford's locking in on has upspin. You're tracing that in all the way to home plate, trying to sit on something off speed, but it looks exactly the same. It's just kind of stopping almost midway to home plate.
And generally, comparing changeup to the off-speed rise, how much different is the velo?
It's different for every pitcher. You know, you can have it be 12 miles an hour to even 20 differential from your hard stuff. It really, there's no rules about it. You just want to make sure that it's deceptive, and that's the name of the game. You want to deceive these hitters, keep them off balance, get their timing off. And there's so many different off speeds that you can throw, but the key is you got to have something, and it's got to be deceptive.
And that's a separating factor from good pitchers to great pitchers, is to be able to have batters step into the box and just never be able to really lock in on one thing.
And in the era of scouting, when you're watching film, right? When you and I are preparing for these games, I'm watching a ton of film on 643, breaking down these hitters, trying to see what I need to see to tell their stories. And so if I'm breaking down film like this, who knows what these teams are doing in the dugout preparing for these matchups.
Especially as staffs continue to grow, where now the volunteer assistant position has gone away and you add another paid assistant, you've got more hands on deck to be able to break everything down and look at, okay, the count's now 1 and 2. What's the most frequently thrown pitch here in this count? What should I be sitting on? Turn it first, 1 away. And that's up and in, a dangerously close pitch to Ava Gall, who did not even flinch at that. So Wesley has a hit-by-pitch sandwich here with a strikeout in the middle, but Kern to second and Gall is over at first with Ali Kaneshiro coming to the plate.
Didn't we just talk yesterday about face masks?
We did, yeah.
If Ava Gall isn't wearing a face mask on that hit-by-pitch, she might be out, and out for a little bit. You can see it hit her first, but it comes up and hits the face mask, so it avoids her face, but a little scary moment there. You can't give Stanford opportunities like this. This is a team that knows how to run the bases. They walk a lot. They will get hit by pitches a lot. It starts with their leadoff, and Taryn Kern, her on-base percentage is over 500. And they're not going to kill you with the long ball. Yes, they can do it, but we saw it yesterday. They can score in a lot of different ways without it.
Ali Kaneshiro now up to 11 home runs this year. Highest home run total by a Stanford player since 2015. Kayla Bonstrom hit 13 that year. A throw from Wesolowski behind Kern. And they pick off the Stanford second baseman. Jessica Allister signaling she wants that to get checked out upon replay review.
I love this statement from the freshman behind the plate in Wesolowski. You have 2 hit by pitch, so your pitcher needs a little pickup here. Why not go for it? See if you can catch a base runner sleeping. I think they get her. What a throw.
And oh, by the way, that was from her knees. She backhands the ball in the dirt and throws a dart to second base.
Which is why she catches Taryn Kern off guard, because she's on her knees. You don't make that big announcement, hey, I'm on my feet, I'm gonna pick you off. It's just so sneaky from low to the cannon all the way.
Stanford, Kern called out on the field, and upon review, she remains out. 2 down.
I just love that moment so much for the freshman. That's picking up your pitcher, changing the momentum, and just doing it by yourself. I see an opening, I'm gonna go get it right now, get this out, and change the momentum, eliminate a runner in scoring position.
No timidity from Ella Wesolowski. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kaneshiro. 1 and 2. Right in at the knees. Wesley with the strikeout, 2 in the inning. We may have ourselves made quick work of the opposition yesterday, just 70 pitches in 5.
Yeah, so strange if you look at the box score and you look at the runs that were put up. The winning pitcher, 70 pitches, didn't allow anything, but it was an 8-6 ball game. St. Mary's pushing Stanford all the way last night. But hey, a win is a win this time of year. If you can get that opening regional W, you're gonna take it.
It was limited action at the plate this year for Matalasi Fa'apito, who started out her career at New Mexico State when she was a finalist for NFCA Freshman of the Year. Just 6 of 18 at the plate this year with a home run and 5 knocked in. The Bulldogs are really happy to be back here in the postseason. We spoke with Aspen Wesley yesterday after her complete game performance, and the word that she used was embarrassed to be left out of the NCAA field last year. The only team out of 13 in the SEC that did not get into the field of 64. And this year working their way to a 12-12 record in the SEC. 500 for the first time in the league in 17 years. You've got to go all the way back to 2007. The last time that happened, they were 14-14.
The most successful season under Coach Ricketts since she's taken over as head coach.
She comes back home to her native Bay Area. Grew up in San Jose. Kennedy comes up and in, and the count is full. 3-2 to Fa'apito.
Haven't seen the off-speed pitch yet from Nyjah. 3 strikeouts in the first, all via the low rise and the high rise.
Second time on a 3-2 and a bloop right to Taryn Kern. Therein lies the difficulty, is that even if you do make contact, it may be off the hands with how much she comes up and in with the high rise.
Yeah, right after that at bat, you saw Fa'apito talking to her teammate, coming up to the plate, giving her a little bit of info. You've got to be so short to the ball. When you're throwing 70 miles an hour as a pitcher, you're kind of providing the power yourself. And so as a hitter, you can't go up to the plate thinking, I need this big leg kick, I've got to get my hands going. You've almost got to take a 2-strike approach from strike 1. Shorten up, bat to the ball, she's providing the power.
A little bit like golf, right? Let the club do the work. The harder you swing, the worse you're going to hit the ball.
All right.
Speaking from experience in the latter part of it.
I don't play golf. Is that how you say it? Play golf, or is it just golf?
I'm not going to be a gatekeeper with how you say it.
Well, I am not involved in the game of golf. I need a little bit more like hand-eye coordination. I need to throw something, you know what I'm saying?
4 strikeouts for Kennedy, and this was her pitch total through 2 yesterday. 22 pitches. She went out, put the jacket on, thought she might be done for the night. And right at the knees, gets a swing and a miss there from Barbary. So the ERA falls to .48 yesterday, continuing to drop. 270 strikeouts for Kennedy. First pitcher to lead the nation in ERA in back-to-back seasons since Virginia Tech's Angela Tincher did that 2007, 2008. And she finished the regular season at 256 strikeouts, which was second in the country.
Having a little technical difficulty with the pitch comm.
So that's what relays the pitch calls in from the dugout, the one-way communication device. Speeds up the entire process. Who among us hasn't forgotten to charge our devices now and then?
I know. I'm a big fan of it this year, allowing that technology into our game. I think it helps the athletes just see a little bit clearer what the signal is. So the pitches are being called in the dugout from pitching coach Tori Nyberg, but I will be honest, Mike, watching Nyjah yesterday, last night, and then even today, she's shaking off a lot of pitches. So there's a lot of communication going on between her in the circle and Ali Kaneshiro behind the plate.
And the degree of trust from the dugout to behind the plate to in the circle to be able to say, if you don't like the pitch, we're not going to have you throw that one.
It's so important to build that trust, and you work on that in the off season, you work on it all during season to say, you're the one throwing the ball. If you don't like it, change it. We ride with what you feel. Because the last thing you want to do as a pitcher is throw a pitch that you have a little bit of doubt about. If you have any doubt in your pitch at this level, game over.
Kennedy's 0-2, line foul. So she can get up into the 70s, and that registers 57.
It's the off-speed rise. See Coach Nyberg with the clipboard.
Which I'm told, by the way, is a custom clipboard job, that a regular size clipboard was not the right size, so she put an extension on that herself.
The more you know. Didn't know you could have custom clipboards.
Look at that. you got to be able to chart everything, and you want it all in one place.
So true. So much information in today's game.
A good effort here from Wesolowski, fouling away a couple two-strike pitches.
Look, this freshman wants us to talk about her. We had the pickoff in the last inning from behind the plate, picking off Taryn Kern at second base. Just such a statement. And how about this at bat? No matter the result, I'm impressed.
By average, she was the second best freshman hitter in the SEC this year, and she gets fooled on the off-speed. 5 strikeouts for Kennedy.
Her go yard yesterday. Yeah, there's a lot of left-handed hitters.
Stanford had 2 aboard in the first against Aspen Wesley on hit by pitches, and Chan, her bunt is down. The throw from Barbary off the glove of Hawkins and into shallow right field. Kira Chan into scoring position with nobody out.
It's like a little extra leadoff, the number 5 spot. And when you have all these lefties who are triple threats, they can do so many different things. And if you need a leadoff bunt, small game to start this thing, pull it out. A little bit of a throwing error there up the line, and just the speed and recognizing the ball's in front of you. You make that call yourself as the base runner. There's no time to look around to a coach. You see it in front, you know your speed. An extra 60 feet is huge to start this inning.
This raises another question too. Would you bunt here?
Yes. Jade Berry, though, did have really good at-bats yesterday. She was that clutch factor when Stanford needed it, that back and forth with St. Mary's.
Liner foul up the first base line with Chan at second base, and what goes down as an error on Nadia Barbary at third.
And then you're also in this moment reading the defense. So the corners for Mississippi State were really far in. And so you can kind of see that, take it in, and then, okay, it might open up an extra hit here or there. Looks like Madison Kennedy at first base going to back up a little bit more after that foul ball. It's that cat and mouse defensively. First base line is open.
Fly ball, center field. Sacco is back. It's over her head. A one-hopper off the wall. Chan rounds third. She's in to score. 1-0 Cardinal on a Jade Berry RBI double.
Stays clutch. Freshman in the lineup. We saw it last night. Just opens it up, and Sierra Sacco in center field playing really shallow. I thought she might have a chance at it, but looking at the replay, she was really shallow. More shallow than maybe normal with a runner at second base. And the power of Jade Berry at the plate, a huge run for Stanford to start this game.
And another runner in scoring position now, the 7th spot in the lineup, Kaylin Koch. And for what it's worth, about the question of bunting a runner over to third with runner at second and nobody out. Run expectancy would tell you a runner at second, nobody out. You expect 1.3 runs in that situation. Runner at third, the expectancy goes up with 1 out.
And it's so important for Stanford to just get a run. They need 1 with their ace in the circle. So if you have the opportunity to start an inning at second base, like no buts about it. Let's get this run across.
Jade Berry makes the point moot. She just knocks
right,
it to center field.
You need this run, I got you. Here we go.
Done. I'm a freshman. Hitting 6th in the lineup. To the senior Koch, who just gets under that into foul ground, and Kennedy makes the play.
This was a 1-1 count, and just a little bit too sweet over the heart of the plate. It's as good a swing as you're going to see. The freshman on her horse all the way, sliding into second. Sacco trying to run it down, but look how far she had to run to go get it.
Is she channeling Michael, or is she channeling the security guard who in The Last Dance who beat him in the quarter tossing competition?
I don't know if that guy has a name, but I know exactly who you're talking about because it's just like the meme. I think she did that. Saw Caitlin Clark do that a couple of times this season.
John Michael Wozniak, by the way, is the security guard.
Perfect.
Give him his credit.
Yes. Iconic moment.
Liner and caught at second base by Hawkins. No time for a play at second with Edwards deep in the hole at short. So quickly 2 retired as River Mailer goes down and brings up the number 9 hitter, Caitlin Lim.
21, Caitlin Lim.
But you're right. When you have Nyjah Kennedy in the circle, 1 run may be all it takes, as Mississippi State experienced in their own right with their ace Aspen Wesley yesterday, working a complete game in a 1-0 victory where they had 2 hits and 3 base runners.
Such a strange game yesterday. Haley Rainey was going pitch for pitch with Aspen Wesley, throws a 2-hitter and loses. Just so tough.
That bunt is down but foul. Speaking of strange games, by the way, how about Omaha picking up a win yesterday to start, and they just beat Washington 3-2 in the Columbia Regional. So Omaha is now the first Regional 4 seed to start 2-0 since 2012.
Oh, man. The mayhem is here.
Fly ball out to right, and Cook just takes a couple of steps. She's under it. The inning is over. But the bottom of the second started with a throwing postseason. She's yet to allow a base hit and has struck out 15. So bottom third of the order starts with Kylie Edwards, the shortstop. And so the question becomes here for Mississippi State, as they get in a long line of many perplexed opponents of Nyjah Kennedy, is how do we try and get offense going?
They've had a long conference, if you will, after that defensive inning. Going into the dugout, you could tell there was a lot of information being passed around. 6 batters have gone up to the plate and seen Nyjah. Okay, what does that look like? Tell us what you're seeing. And then if the coaches, of course, are going to chime in what they're seeing as well. And just all those conversations. How do we figure her out?
Edwards, the freshman from Waldron, Indiana, about 45 minutes southeast of Indianapolis. A tremendous athlete, and her skill in the field, her athleticism, helped her win that starting job at shortstop, carrying over from a great high school career in which she was also a 1,000-point scorer in basketball. You're what, 5'11"? Did you play basketball in high school?
I say I'm 5'12".
It's like the NBA players who don't want to be 7-footers.
I'm 5'12". I played a little volleyball, played a little basketball. Yep. Not great, but I was out there.
2-2, foul ground. Gall got it with some room to spare. 7 in a row retired by Kennedy to start the game. I was lucky as a 6'4" human being to escape the family line of working as a circus freak and get into broadcasting. Played basketball, scored 13 varsity points.
It's a great number.
Yeah, we're hanging a banner for that. Salyn Hawkins, the number 8 hitter. Frozen by strike 1. Hawkins, Wesolowski, Edwards, freshman in this starting lineup for a team returning to the postseason. They missed it out last year. 2022 really shook the softball world as they eliminated the number 2 national seed Florida State en route to a super regional. .305 regular season average. Hawkins, 4th best for a freshman in the SEC. Chases that pitch into the left-hand batter's box for Kennedy's 6th strikeout.
I think Hawkins was just guessing on that. I'm going to be honest, with 2 strikes. This is the pitch in the other batter's box. Look at the spin, the curve. Nothing is ever going to really tail down. It's going to tail up. It'll tail out. But you get a hitter to swing like that with a pitch location where it ended up, tells me she was just trying to sit on something low and inside. Which, to be fair, is not a bad strategy. You have to go up to the plate being unafraid to guess. I would go up there in the first 2 pitches, I'm looking one zone and I'm swinging big. I'm gonna go get it. Sometimes with a pitcher that's as elite as Nyjah is, if you go up there with a plan, quote unquote, I mean, that's, no, you gotta go up there and just guess a little bit and be okay with that. and then you get 2 strikes, well, you got to fight your tail off and see what you can do.
Riley St. Clair trying to bunt her way aboard. The left fielder takes 1 and 2. There are now 16 games this year after last night where Kennedy struck out at least 10. And she's trying for number 7 here to complete the first time through the lineup, and she's got it. 1, 2, 3 for the first 3 innings for a candidate for Player of the Year. Pitch on the leg, steps in as close as she can get to the leading edge of the batter's box there, encroaching on home plate. I'm almost a little surprised with that being her tactic, that she doesn't step in and kick the chalk out of the way to really just get that line disappeared.
Well, we're in the 3rd inning, and I'm looking at the chalk at home plate, and it's already kind of disappeared. So, like,
she's on the line.
I mean, I guess if there's a line, sure. I don't see one. It's just kind of mixed around dirt.
She is, as it's been said before, a habitual line stepper.
She's up there.
She got hit by a pitch and then picked off by the catcher Ella Wesolowski at second base on a throw from her knees. And we have seen from Kern and from Wesolowski now some tremendous defensive efforts here over the first day and now 2.5 innings in this game. Right center field, and it's Sacco with a beat on it. So Wesley, after giving up the RBI double to Jade Berry last inning, has retired 4 in a row.
Now batting for Stanford, number 18, Emily Jones.
Emily Jones, the last 18 games of the regular season, moved into that number 2 spot and was first team all Pac-12 this year. Their best hitter by average at .366. And there's no small part of that comes with hitting behind Taryn Kern and the pitches that you're going to see because of the plate appearances that Kern puts together.
Yeah, she's a great story this season. Taking over center field, batting in the 2-hole. Did neither of those things a season ago.
Bunt deadened over to Barbary. And she zips it on to Salen Hawkins for the putout. 2 away for the Cardinal, bottom 3 with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of the Berry RBI double.
That's a nice rebound there from Barbary at third base. That's how Stanford was able to score that 1 run. Had a throwing error on a bunt, almost the exact same play. So she shores it up, gets the out at first base with the Speedy Jones running down the line.
Bases are clear for Ava Gall. This was another spot, first base, where Stanford had Emily Schultz and Jessica Allister, who we'll talk with in just a little bit, said that the positions we were certain of coming into this season: pitcher, Naija Kennedy; catcher, Ali Kaneshiro. And freshmen, sophomores, the underclassmen have made a huge impact this year. Ball was 3rd team all Pac-12 and all freshman team, and gets a hold of this out to right field. Cook is back, and that ball is gone. 2-0 Stanford.
Over the right field wall to number 51, Ava Gall.
The Stanford hitters must be certified arborists because they're trying to take down the trees beyond the wall.
Well, that's why Ava Gall had to learn first base this season. Came in as a catcher, but Coach Allister said we have to have this freshman's bat in our lineup. In our 3-hole, that's a statement when you have a rookie holding down that big spot, that 3 spot.
Now batting for Stanford,
That was an absolute shot
Ali Kaneshiro.
from the freshman.
Massive blast for her, so she's got 10 now. Kaneshiro, the team leader, with 11. This was not one of the regionals coming in where you looked at the team totals throughout the course of the year and said you expect it to be among the leaders of home runs hit. But the two that we have seen, both from Stanford, have been no doubters off the bat.
I was just thinking that. This is a pitcher-friendly ballpark. I pitched here when I played, and
you loved it, right?
As a pitcher would. It kind of holds the balls. I don't know if it's the trees or the way the wind blows. It's a high fence, 205 down the line. But the way those two home runs from Kaneshiro yesterday and then Ava Gall just now, man, I don't care where the fence is. Those balls are going out of the ballpark. This was an 0-2 pitch from Aspen Wesley. She's trying to go in tight to the hands because you know the power that Ava Gall has, but it was just sweet over the heart of the plate. Just absolutely crushed into the tree. Good thing that tree's there. There's some construction going on.
Is that a tipped pitch situation, or they're just seeing it coming out of the hand?
It's something they're picking up on the way that Aspen's gripping the ball or the way she goes back into her rocker. There's so many little things that go into picking pitches in our game, and it's a fair thing to do. It's been around for forever. There's ways that you can overcome that as a pitcher. Sometimes change your grip a little bit. Just because you're holding the ball a little bit differently, you're still going to spin it the same. So, you know, you just need a couple of pitches to throw them off. And then all of a sudden they're yelling sit, but really you're still throwing a curveball, and that's when you get a hitter. That was it right there. You could hear it. And that's her off-speed rise ball, 54 miles an hour. She throws it exactly the same as her rise, the way she spins it, but there's got to be something that Stanford is seeing in the way that she's gripping the ball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 on Chan, and the inning is over. Cardinal double state circle sit coming from your dugout. What are your players seeing?
You know, we're just doing our best to win the game within the game and take advantage of any information that the other team gives us. So we got a really good pitcher on the mound that we're facing and trying to find any way we can to get a little bit of an advantage.
Coach, your power numbers are better this year. We saw your senior go yard yesterday, but let's talk about your freshman and, of course, Jade Berry with the big hit. So the two rookies getting it done. What have they brought to your team this season?
Yeah, just like you said, they've gotten some big hits and some big situations. We knew coming in they're going to bring two really good left-handed bats, and I've been impressed with their maturity throughout the year, and just, you know, they're putting together great seasons. So it's been a boon to the lineup for sure.
How at this point can Nyjah Kennedy impress you?
I mean, she impresses me every day. And you guys are impressed because you watch her pitch, but if you knew her, you'd be even more impressed. She's a wonderful human being.
Love it.
Well, thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
I asked that question kind of tongue-in-cheek because it gets to the point where when we were talking about this in one of the commercials earlier, that if there's an outcome beyond a dribbler or a strikeout, it's like, wow, what happened there? Because same as anything, any sensation in life, watching greatness, standing out in the cold, you get used to it after a while, but you can't because of just how good she is, and we got to keep that in perspective. And this is a fly ball, deep center field. At the wall, 220, and the leap, that ball is gone. Sierra Sacco might have hit it just 221 feet, and that was enough. The first postseason hit allowed this year by Nyjah Kennedy is a home run, and it's a one-run ball game.
What did I tell you earlier about when you're facing a pitcher throwing 70 miles an hour, she is providing the power. That velocity's coming in hot. You don't have to do too much. Second time through the lineup for Mississippi State, making adjustments. And of course, it's Sierra Sacco. This is the best hitter in the lineup, and she's been the best hitter all season long. That's just so simple. Her head doesn't move. Her barrel's so simple through the zone. I thought Emily Jones was gonna have a beat on this, but the fences are high here at Stanford, and Mississippi State cutting the lead in half with one swing of the bat.
Paige Cook going after the first pitch also. I believe it was in the Durham Regional. There was a robbed home run earlier today from South Carolina out in left field. A glove reaching over the wall. And we were dangerously close to that type of situation here too. But just enough on it from Sacco. And in the postseason, no lead is safe.
Well, you're seeing right now with Sierra Sacco jumping on the very first pitch, and then to follow now Paige Cook swinging at the first 2 pitches. Strategy, go early. You don't want to be sitting 0-2 looking for something. We talked about cheating a little bit. Go up hacking. Never know what you'll find. Oh, that feels so good. You know you're going up against the best pitcher in the country.
And you mentioned that the trees here beyond the outfield wall do tend to dampen some of the wind.
Yeah.
But the flag in straightaway center is blowing out. Right where that ball was hit.
Yep.
Just the second home run of the year for Sacco. Cook has delivered 5 and gets time here before a 1-2 pitch.
I think you're going to start to see Nyjah use that off speed more. Second time through the lineup, we hardly saw her throw, maybe 2 first time through the lineup. So second time, better adjustments I'm seeing right away from Mississippi State. You're going to see that off speed.
Kennedy makes the call and the catch.
Standing next for the Bulldogs, number 18,
A tremendous athlete, not just in softball. She was a 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year coming out of the state of Kansas, but also 2-time All-State basketball player. Jessica Allister said the first time she saw Nyjah Kennedy pitch was as a 7th grader. And getting to know her, so impressed with her. Couldn't talk to her until September of her junior year, but so impressed with everything about her and told her on her first phone call, I believe you are the best pitcher in the country. ERA at .57, best in the country last year. This year entering the postseason at .50 and started today at .48. So that ends a streak for her, a scoreless streak that she came in at 16 1/3, closing out the regular season, extended it to 24 1/3 before giving up the Sierra Sacco solo home run. And Kennedy with a check swing stays at 0-2.
Her ERA is like an ERA that you would see in the late 80s. That's not what an ERA looks like in our game at this point with the hitters that we're seeing across the country.
Primarily, what do you think has fueled that change?
I think it's a couple of things. Coach Allister talked about how she's more durable this season. Her innings are up. And so she's gotten those consistent reps where you have to have as a pitcher. You got to get in a rhythm. Last year, she was injured during the majority of Pac-12 play. We didn't see her.
Right, and that was what kept her from qualifying for All-American status, just missing out on the innings threshold.
And all of a sudden, she comes on the postseason scene, and everyone's like, she's not an All-American. What's going on? Well, she missed a lot of Pac-12. I always love to watch the evolution after a big freshman season too. Like, how do you back that up? And now she's the ace of the staff. She was the ace, quote unquote, a season ago, but she was a freshman to a veteran and a senior in Elena Vaughter. Elena graduates, has one more year of eligibility due to the last round of the COVID red shirts, if you will, and goes to South Carolina. She's been pitching very well for them this season, but it's now a new role for Nyjah. You're the pitcher that we are scouting.
That's her 8th strikeout.
What a battle. And that's the biggest home run threat for Mississippi State. So you're giving up the home run to the leadoff and the best hitter, in my opinion, in Sierra Sacco, who leads this team in average. But Madison Kennedy is the big bat. 17 home runs on the season. You don't want to let another hitter go yard on you. You know that feels so good, but that was a battle between two of the best right now in our country.
And another power bat in Matalasi Fa'apito, who had what proved to be the game-winning RBI double yesterday against Cal State Fullerton in the opening round. Winner here moves on to the regional final, and the loser will have to take on either Cal State Fullerton or St. Mary's, champions of their respective conferences, the Big West and the WCC, which will be game 2 of 3 here today, and you can find that later on today on ESPN+.
The one thing, if I'm going to be picky, I think that she can develop and get a little bit better at is her curve. She just doesn't quite have the location pinpoint as she does her rise. She does not miss on her rise. She misses every now and then on her curve. That's the pitch right there. She's trying to get the outside corner to a powerful bat in Fa'apito, as she should. Just couple of pitches. I like that she went back to it. The one that she missed, it was in the other batter's box. Don't give up on it. Let's try it again, see if we can stick that strike, but just still a couple inches off.
And Fa'apito takes it and pokes it into center field for the second base hit of the game, second base hit of the inning for Mississippi State.
3 curves in a row from Nyjah to Fa'apito, and I love the senior knowing that a pitcher of her caliber isn't going to miss 3 times in a row, so get in swing mode. It's coming. Off the end of the bat, but you will take that all day if you're Mississippi State.
Bulldogs go with Jaden Burney, pinch runner at first base, as Nadia Barbary digs into the right-hand batter's box. Fouled away on the half swing for Barbary, who doubled 11 times during conference play. That was most in the league. In fact, a new school record as well. And was the team leader in multi-hit games with 13 of them this year. Added 60 points to her average from last year as a freshman. See if she can make an adjustment here after Kennedy really had her off balance and guessing in her first at bat in the second inning.
High heat, here it comes.
Just a casual 75 on the radar gun.
Is that what that was? It's really fast. I don't know if that's right, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, she throws fast. Let's not underplay it. She throws really fast.
And that time she didn't have to. The change of speeds, 21 miles an hour slower than the last pitch. Go and Matalasi Fa'apito figure out to get some base hits going.
Well, I think just our first time seeing her, we needed to kind of, trust the game plan a little bit more. And we know she's a great pitcher. She's going to get her strikeouts. But we have to go up there and attack when she leaves something that's in our zone that we can get after. And I thought Sierra, that's why she's at the top of the order for us. She just brings so much competitiveness and fire, and she just really sparked us, got us going, and we needed that in a big way right there.
And then, Coach, the pitching change. You go from the senior to the freshman. What goes into the move here?
Yeah, just trying to bring in a lefty against their lineup up and down. I think Aspen wasn't really getting her curveball to move the way she typically likes to do it, so going to make a change pretty quick here. And we trust Delaney. I think she's another competitor you're going to see out there, and a good matchup against them with their lineup.
And strikeout number is great this year, too.
Yep, she's doing a good job. She's going to attack, and she's going to be fiery. So I'm excited to see what she can do in this type of environment, because she's really going to be a big part of our future moving forward in this program as well.
Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you. Hail State.
2-1 Stanford in the lead. Delaney Everett, the freshman from Oakdale, California, didn't hit the innings threshold to register on the national leaderboard this year, but averaging a little bit over 10 strikeouts per 7, which would have ranked 5th in the country. So you've got 2 of the top 5 here in this game. Nyjah Kennedy was 2nd in the country, and now Delaney Everett with her 14th appearance of the season. And as we showed you during the starting lineup for Stanford, 8 of the 9 on that lineup card batting from the left-hand side. So this is a perfect opportunity to go southpaw.
Aspen Wesley, the righty, throws a lot of rise and a lot of curve. When you're a right-handed pitcher and the curveball is your game and you're wanting to work the glove side of the plate, there's just not a lot of room to work with going up against 8 left-handed hitters. That's why we saw a couple of hit-by pitches to those lefties, just because when you do miss, there's one way it's going, and that's into the batter. And so when you have a right-handed hitter with a curve-dominant pitcher, well, there's a little bit more room to let that thing ride. So I think just a matchup change here for Mississippi State.
So the line on Wesley for now, as she's completed 10 postseason innings, 3 hits, or rather 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Total of 47 pitches. And today is the day, especially if you end up playing later on tonight, where your pitching depth really gets tested. As the winner of this game is putting their feet up and wait until tomorrow for the losers to then wait for another game to get played, see who their opponent is, and take the field again to try and stave off elimination.
Looks like Aspen Wesley is just hanging out in the bullpen. Honestly, that's where I like to hang out as well. That's just your comfort zone, whether you need to warm up or not.
Well, it was a shade toward left center field. Sacco was tilted that way, and Jade Berry continues to have a phenomenal weekend. She's 2 for 2 with a pair of doubles.
Hits the Jade Berry shrug. Is that what we're calling that? She's 2 for 2 on those.
It is now.
She looks dialed in. This is almost a carbon copy of what she did in the 2nd inning. Just different leading off this inning with nobody on base. Was an RBI double, now just a leadoff double.
So I was just curious, right? Jade is a stone. And what I've learned is that it comes from a Spanish expression, piedra de hijada, which means stone of the pain in the side. She is a pain in the side to the opposing pitchers right now. Jade is the stone of prosperity, success, and good luck, which she is bringing to the Cardinal dugout.
We talked to her coach about what the 2 freshmen in the lineup with Jade Berry and Ava Gall making an impact in this game. Ava Gall with the solo shot, Jade Berry with the 2 other big hits. Those are 2 freshmen on a team in a program that was in the Women's College World Series, made it to the semifinals, and they are providing the offense right now in the most important game of the weekend.
It's the previous most important game of the weekend was yesterday.
That's
Every
true.
day becomes the most important game of the weekend.
You just don't want to be playing late at night. You just don't. You just don't want to do it. If you can go home and rest versus you have to stay at the ballpark, you're going to be playing probably until 10 p.m. our time and then turn around and have to fight for your life to advance to the Super Regionals. You got to win this game.
And there's another game of intrigue happening right now out here on the West Coast. Out in the Los Angeles Regional, hosted by UCLA. It's Virginia Tech 4, UCLA 2.
I told you yesterday, this was my regional. This is the one I highlighted when the brackets came out. I think a lot of people would agree with me, knowing, especially if you're a West Coast person, knowing San Diego State, knowing how good even Grand Canyon is, and then here comes Virginia Tech from the ACC, the home run hitters.
Just running out of room over there off the top of the dugout. And similarly to Nyjah Kennedy here with Stanford, Virginia Tech has Emma Lumley, somebody who worked behind a more veteran pitcher early on in her career and has moved into the ace role. Another 1-2 to the alleyway left center field. And that carries out just shy of the warning track. St. Clair sending Koch to an 0-for-2 start.
Now batting for the Cardinals, number 1, River Naylor.
In hindsight, of course, with the pop-up to left field, a little surprised we didn't see a sacrifice bunt there. We talked about that situation back in the second. Stanford was able to get the clutch hit, but it was Jade Berry who's on base, riding the hot hand of her bat, knowing that she was seeing the ball and dialed in yesterday. But I just think one-run ball game, you know who you have in the circle. You have a runner in scoring position, no outs, unproductive out there for Stanford.
That's the delicate balance of intuition versus going with what data says as a head coach, of trying to figure out, all right, I know what, historically speaking, this data compiled will tell me, but what do I feel like is happening with my team today in this present moment, and having to make that decision.
It's always different, too, for Stanford because of Nyjah in the circle. She's the difference. So most of the time, I would say runner at second base, no one out, let them swing away, take your chances with 3 straight hitters to kind of get a rally going. Let's get a couple runs up. But with Stanford, it's completely different game plan. You just need 1 run here. Don't need 5, you don't need 6.
Three and 2 to River Naylor.
It's a change in velocity between Aspen Wesley and now Everett in the circle. Wesley's 64, sometimes will touch 65, a little bit more floaty. Everett's high 60s, 68, 69.
Up and away, ball 4, first and second for Stanford with 1 down. Second walk taken today by the Cardinal. Powerful Dodgers with a 7-game lead over San Diego. That game tomorrow night, and coverage starts 6 Eastern on ESPN. Mississippi State, as they made their way out here west, also got to take in a San Francisco Giants game, which is, for my money, maybe second to Pittsburgh. I might take some heat for that. The most beautiful view in all of baseball.
I haven't been to Pittsburgh's ballpark, so I'll just say it's the best because I come here all the time. But, oh man, I'm so jealous. Anytime you can go to Oracle Park, it's so much fun.
Bucket list item for me would be taking the ferry to the game.
Yeah, living large. Yeah, talking to the teams, there were some interesting off-the-field activities. Of course, Mississippi State going to the game. We were talking to Cal State Fullerton. They were going to, like, I don't know what to call it, like an axe throwing room or something where you can let out stress. It's not an escape room, it's something else, but you know, you do have a lot of time. Your travel days, Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday, you practice Thursday, and then what else are you supposed to do? So let's make some memories, hit the ballpark, and
you can either call it a rage room or a smash room.
oh,
So
okay, that's what it is, a smash room. Thank you.
Literally, you are paying money to just go in and break things. That's what the whole place is designed for. St. Clair on the move, and it's tracked down in foul territory over there on the third base side as Lim, the number 9 hitter, is retired on a long run there by Kylie Edwards.
Well, Coach Ricketts is from the Bay Area, so she was just pumped that her team went to the game, went to the Giants game, and then everyone on the team was buying Giants gear. She was like, my plan is working. This is the plot. Everybody buy into my home team.
Now, everybody says when you go to Oracle Park, you got to get the garlic fries. However, that might be best on a solo expedition, unless everybody gets them, because you don't want to be the only one
It's true.
who's breathing out garlic breath. 2 on, 2 out, back to the top of the order, and Taryn Kern, who's been hit by a pitch and flied out to center field.
Well, if the freshman Everett and Mississippi State can get out of this jam, got to take some momentum from defense to offense. Had the leadoff double in Jade Berry, and she has stayed right there at second base for the last 2 batters.
Two California natives here. Kern from San Jose. Everett in the circle from Oakdale, about 100 miles east of here. And 1-2. Kern with a good eye as always. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Stanford got on the board, a run in the second, added 1 more in the third to take a 2-0 lead. Yesterday they needed 8 to beat St. Mary's, 8-6. Mississippi State equaling its run production from yesterday with a 1-0 win over Cal State Fullerton. They got on the board a Sierra Sacco home run here in the top of the 4th. 2 on, 2 out, the 3-2, poked out towards short, and Edwards makes the play. The inning is over. Delaney Everett's first inning, she strands 2. And today is one of the most impactful days on the college softball calendar. It's such an exciting weekend. You have conference tournaments, then the selection show. Some teams know they're in, it's just a matter of where they're going. Some teams don't know if they're in and hoping they'll get there. And today, the field goes from 64 down to just 32. And tomorrow, we'll be left with only 16. No doubt with the way that this Mississippi State team is built and the way they've played this year that you'll see more of Ella Wesolowski in the postseason. You know why she wears 74?
I would love to know, because I was looking at that at the roster going, well, that's a new one.
So she wanted to play in the SEC. She goes to camp at Mississippi State. She had a 74-mile-an-hour overhand throw, and now she's memorialized that with the number on the back of her jersey.
Amazing.
We saw the heat. She picked off Taryn Kern at second base earlier in the game.
74 is humming overhand. I had a teammate, Lauren Young, one day at practice, she hit 75 on the gun, and she had the best arm that I ever saw. And so 74, that's humming.
I love an unusual number. Because as we now know, there's usually a story behind it.
There's a couple of unique ones on this Bulldog roster. There's the curve from Nyjah, just missing a little bit wide. 1-2 count. Wasilowski struck out in her last at-bat, but I tell you, it was such a good at-bat.
She battles, pops it up over to Berry. So Kennedy now with 9 strikeouts coming into the inning. If she racks up another, she'll have a 10 strikeout game back-to-back days. And this year it would make it 17 games in which she struck out at least 10. This is the bottom third of the order. Number 7 hitter Kylie Edwards, 0 for 1. She popped out in her first trip to the plate.
I love that there for Nyjah. Pitch prior was a curve. She missed off. But go right back to it. She has to have that pitch. Her rise ball's too good. She can't throw it all the time, even though she could. But with where she wants to go, she has to have the curve.
And she gets the corner. Strikeout number 10 for Nyjah Kennedy. Doing it in back-to-back days and for the 17th time this year.
So many times we talk about hitters having in-at-bat adjustments, but we can talk about it pitchers as well. In-at-bat adjustments in the circle, not throwing what you want to throw. Let's stick with it. How can I make an adjustment and get the result I want on the exact same pitch? A little conversation here with pitching coach Tori Nyberg.
And that's because you got a pinch hitter, Lexi Sosa, coming to the plate, the graduate student transfer from UCLA. Sosa 3 for 13 at the plate this year. Different look for the Bulldogs as she pinch hits for Ceylon Hawkins, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And it's not easy to be a pinch hitter in any situation, but
no,
this one is a big ask.
It's brutal.
But there are also some hitters who really thrive in that type of a situation, carve that niche for themselves.
And you can get all the information and be locked in and watching from the dugout, but it's another to step into the box to Nyjah Kennedy, 70 miles an hour, trying to lay off the rise. Keep throwing it. Keep throwing it.
And that last strikeout for Kennedy was her first of 10 today. That came with the batter looking. 1-2 to Sosa. Now 2 in a row that a lesser hitter would have chased.
She's really trying to establish the outside part of the zone with the curve. Last couple of batters, she's needed that outside corner, and it looked like she's also thrown just a low rise on that part of the plate. And that's what I'm talking about, the adjustments. Like, you need the outside part of the plate, and the curve's not hitting, and you're not getting the swing, so can I just throw a low rise? Yeah, absolutely I can. Got to have something hard on that part of the plate to just set up the high heat where she makes a living. Right there, it's a good layoff there from the pinch hitter.
Three takes from Sosa on balls out of the zone. She's fouled one away. 2 out, bases clear. The 3-2 from Kennedy is high, ball 4. And a fling of glee for Sosa, tossing her bat back to the third base dugout to take the walk from Kennedy.
She worked that all the way back, was down 0-2, a pinch hitter drawing a walk against the best pitcher. And yeah, flip your bat, because that's as good as a home run. I know it's with 2 outs, so can't get too excited for Mississippi State there. You'd rather have that walk with no outs, try to make something happen here, get back in this ball game. But big smiles did your job.
So Sosa does the job. Ceylon Hawkins re-enters to run over at first. And it's another pinch hitter now, another Power 5 transfer here. Jessie Blaine, the transfer from Auburn. Get some words of wisdom from Lexi Sosa.
And we talked to Coach Allister about the development of Nyjah and going into this sophomore year. And one of the things that she talked about is the celebrations that are happening against her, and how you just have to be mentally tough and be okay with the team celebrating and bat flipping a walk or even a foul ball, right? You can hear the dugout. They're all over it. We got a foul ball. And don't let that rattle you as a pitcher. It's going to come with the success and the amount of success that she's having.
That's a compliment, really.
Absolutely. And sometimes as a pitcher, that can be a little rattling because you're dialed in and all of a sudden people are now cheering for walks and foul balls.
But that's what she does to people. She makes them cheer the things that don't usually get cheered, the routine things. Jessie Blaine, the junior, native of Alabama, played 2 years at Auburn for Mickey Dean. And a career best .319 this year, and her third postseason in as many years at the collegiate level. She stands deep in the box. And Kennedy gets the pop-up. She started the inning with a bloop to Berry, and this one over to Mailer. And strands Ceylon Hawkins at first. Among the upsets yesterday, there are a couple national seeds facing elimination today. Number 7 national seed, Missouri. That's an out over at first base to retire Emily Jones. Number 11, Georgia as well. The Bulldogs stay alive as they lost earlier today against Liberty. The Flames were a 7-3 winner, and Georgia responds with a 5-0 win over Charlotte, which had a really impressive year. They carried a 16-game winning streak into the postseason, the longest in the country. Not easy to do as they moved from CUSA into the American, won the league, but their season comes to an end. And so Georgia lives to see another game. And Missouri in an elimination game against Indiana. That game top 3 is a 2-0 Tigers lead over the Hoosiers.
Without a doubt, Elimination Saturday is the most chaotic day in our sport.
It's not a matter of when the chaos will erupt, it's just where.
There's so much going on. There's really nothing that can compare. It's all happening so fast. It's not like these games are spread out where you can watch them all different days.
Inside out swing for Ava Gall, and they have not retired her yet. She got plunked in the first, knocked a home run over the right field wall in the third, and here in the fifth. Stanford pinch runner, it's Eck over at first.
Number 9, Ellie Eck.
The senior, one of 2 native Kansans on the roster, to go along with the starting pitcher. Top 10 finalist for NFCA Player of the Year, Nyjah Kennedy. He was allowed 1 run on 2 hits and struck out 10 thus far. Kaneshiro quiet with the bat to start. 0 for 1, a strikeout on a walk. Blasted her 11th home run yesterday. Skies this right field. Cook retreating. Drew away for Stanford, bottom 5.
Stepping up the bat for Stanford, number 8, Kira Chan.
So it is a gorgeous day here in Stanford, California. Our broadcast position just behind home plate. We get a little bit of sun here. My water bottle is in the sun. And I feel like Joe Bluth in Arrested Development. Every time I take a sip of the water, I've made a huge mistake.
You've got to keep it in the shade like me.
It's closer to a tea kettle at this point. I've got a lot to learn. And you're helping me out.
You don't get outdoor booths every day.
Broadcasting al fresco. Delaney Everett has given up a couple of base hits since coming on last inning, but yielded no runs. That's the third hit as it gets past Edwards into left field. Big turn, Eck head first into third, and on the backside, Chan takes two. The Cardinal never complacent on the base pass. 60 feet, not enough.
A two-strike approach from Chan, just seeing it so simply to the left side of the field, and then the pinch runner, Ellie Egg, she's on her horse, sees the ball in front of her, and I love when we watch base runners and veteran base runners know what they can push. Not looking to a coach, that's just something that you have to have instinctively. If there's any hesitation, take it, but I'm not giving Jade Berry anything good to hit here.
One eye level, one knee high. 1-1 with runners at second and third. Berry gets one she likes, lifts it to left. Plenty of room for St. Clair, and the inning is over. So Everett with two scoreless frames, helping keep Mississippi State in it. And Sierra Sacco, the top of the line.
Do not see this pitcher give up the long ball. You look at the numbers, 88 pitches here going into the sixth. Just another casual outing for Nyjah.
So the home run that she allowed to Sierra Sacco was just the 7th she's given up in her career in 308 2/3 innings. X over Y, that's one home run allowed every 44 innings of work in the year plus that she's been playing college softball.
And it's one thing to be the elite pitcher that's not giving up the long ball, but usually those are going to be the drop ball pitchers. And Nyjah Kennedy is a rise ball pitcher who throws 70 miles an hour. So you're providing everything to the hitter if they can run into something up in the zone. And so it's just amazing that it's only a handful of home runs.
Ricketts, the Bulldogs head coach, said, you know what? Took us a little bit just to get through that first time through the lineup, and Sacco at the top started that second time through and saw something start to change a little bit there. She had a base hit. Pito had one later in the inning also.
Well, also it was the first pitch, so she's going up hunting on something up in the zone with a big swing. And I talked about this a little bit earlier in the game, but I'll touch on it again. You have to have a little bit of a cheat factor against Nyjah. You got to go up there and be comfortable with swinging a little bit more early than normal, because the ball's going to get on you before you can make up your mind.
And Kennedy finished the regular season second in the country in strikeouts after yesterday vaulted to first. With 10 today, it's 276 on the year, and the next closest pitcher in a power conference was Courtney Weiss with 243 at the University of Maryland. Thought she'd get the call there. Instead, it's 3-2.
Ali Kaneshiro kind of moved her glove a little bit, trying to move it down in the zone. I think if she just keeps her glove a little bit still, you can see how she moves it down. I think if she keeps her glove still, it's still a strike.
Up and in on the hand. Sacco strikes out. Kennedy has fanned 11. An epic battle there.
This pitch location is not fair. Where it ends up, it's so tight. There is zero room for error. The execution has to be perfect on this pitch. Full count. Yeah, she's going to get fired up after it. This is the leadoff hitter who just took you yard in her last at-bat, and you win the follow-up battle.
Paige Cook here, 0 for 2.
Balls are in the air. And that's what I'm talking about. So when you're playing with balls in the air, you know, hitters are going to go yard on you every now and then. It's just, you see it in the game and you have to respect it. Hitters are too good. You're going to give up your fair share of home runs, unless you're Nyjah, I guess.
Cook, shallow right center. Lim on the run, reaches out in front of Jones and takes away a potential base hit. We saw the end of the game yesterday against St. Mary's. Jones came in from center field, got tripped up. Mailer made the catch, and here Lim with the grab on the run.
This was a talking point of ours yesterday about how going into this new season, the defense for Stanford is almost completely different. So you have all these new pieces and new places, but Coach Allister thinks that they're playing their best defense of the season. I would agree, watching them earlier this year and to watching the team that they are now, and it takes so many reps. It takes days work of pop-up calm and do I have this? How far can you go? Where are you shaded? Pre-pitch, I'm back, I'm left. And that takes so much time to develop, and last year's team was just such a senior veteran defensive team. This is a younger squad, and they're figuring it out at the right time.
Especially Jones moving from infield to center field, but they say with her athleticism, it wasn't as big of a learning curve as you might expect, but big shoes to fill there from Taylor Gindelsberger, who didn't commit an error in the final 2 years of her career. Kennedy has held Kennedy at bay, striking out the biggest power threat in the lineup twice.
One-run ball game. If I'm Nyjah, I'm going to be a little careful here. This is a big bat. You took care of Sacco, the best hitter. This is the best power hitter. 17 home runs. And when I say be careful, I'm not saying walk her. I'm just saying let's turn our thinking cap on a little bit. Still compete, go get it, but just be very smart at what we're throwing.
And Kennedy strikes out Kennedy for the third time today. 2-1 lead as they try and reach the regional final. A home run from Ava Gall, an RBI double from Jade Berry, and a new first baseman for Mississippi State. Madison Kennedy made the final out in the Mississippi State top of the sixth. So Riley Hull comes in, and she's their second most used substitute on the roster, primarily a defensive replacement. Her .990 fielding percentage, second best in the history of the program, and her spot in the order wouldn't come up unless Mississippi State were able to put a rally together. Big swing at the first pitch, and on the run, that's a great grab from Sierra Sacco in center field to deny Kaylin Koch a base hit.
It's an upperclassman picking up a freshman. That ball is hit just on the screws. She plays kind of a shallow center field, so her drop step, she's got to go run some things down.
Well, that's trusting your speed, right? Because we saw that with Jade Berry's double earlier that got over her head.
Yep. It's a good snag.
So one away, and it's River Mailer, 0 for 1, a walk and a line out to second.
I'm putting down an L8 instead of an F8 because that was a line drive.
I'm an L and an F scorer as well.
Right on.
Got to differentiate the outs. But how many colored pens do you have?
I know. I have a highlighter for everything.
I mean, I'm counting 3. Are there more that I'm not seeing?
Sometimes I'll use colored pens as well. If I want to write down like rise, change, I'm always writing down what the pitch was, so it's easier for me to look down. I am not a math person, I'm a colorful journalism major, so bring on the highlighters, bring on all the pens, glitter pens if we have them. I'll use them.
I had to abandon my finger paint method for today. It gets a little messy over 3 games. Swing and a miss. Mailer is down on strikes. And that's the first strikeout for Delaney Everett, 4th by Bulldogs pitching. Number 9 spot, Allie Clements, the junior from suburban Houston, is the pinch hitter, the computer science major, who this year was a career best of the plate, hitting .283. Top of the 7th. It'll be at least a 1-run deficit for Mississippi State. They're going to have 4, 5, and 6 coming up in the order.
Coach Allister bringing in a right-handed hitter. The normal lineup for Stanford, 8 lefties going up against the lefty in Everett.
And she's provided really effective relief. She's allowed 2 base runners on in each of her first 2 innings, but not allowed a run.
We still haven't seen Josie Marin from Mississippi State. Another good pitcher for the Bulldogs.
Winner here faces a nice rest and a wait till tomorrow until the regional final. Fine pinch hit appearance there from Clements. Rolls it past Salen Hawkins at second for a 2-out single.
Well, we've seen a couple of pinch hitters on both sides come up and be successful. It's one of the hardest things to do on this stage, and this is an 0-2 pitch. It's a great pitcher's pitch from Everett in the circle. You can't be mad about it. Great job from Clements, just throwing your bat, seeing the ball deep, see if you can put it on the ground, make something happen, and find a hole.
Clements does the job. Lim re-enters to run at first base. To the top of the lineup for the 4th plate appearance today for Taryn Kern.
The last at bat, Taryn Kern going up against the freshman in Everett. Everett jammed her hard inside, and it was just a very lazy pop-up to Kylie Edwards at shortstop.
Scoring wise on that, I went flare 6.
Okay, it's not exactly the L, right? Not the line drive. But right now in this at bat, I think Everett's trying to set up something inside. They were so successful. She has such a big swing, but she's so tight on the plate. We've talked about where her toes line up.
Well, they came inside and she just missed on that. Going deep to right field. Stanford strands 1 in the 6th. 3 scoreless is 18, which she did against a really dangerous lineup too back on March 3rd in a 9-inning game against Georgia. She fanned 18 and allowed just 2 hits against the Dogs. So Montalasi Apito will lead it off, scheduled to be followed by Nadia Barbary and Ella Wesolowski. Winner goes to the regional final, needs just 1 win to advance to Supers. And the loser will take on the victor of our 2nd game today, Cal State Fullerton and St. Mary's.
That pitch almost had some downspin to it. It looked like a curve, but she kind of turned her hand over a little bit to try and get it to go down. Haven't seen that from her yet.
Number 13, Stanford 2 outs away. For the 2nd straight day as well, it's Mississippi State 1 run on 2 hits.
How do you lay off of this, first of all, and then how do you stay on time? It's just not fair. I love the reaction from Ali Kaneshiro behind the plate, the senior. Man, how fun is her job?
Shallow center field. Mailer is out. It drops in front of Jones. Very similar to the final out of yesterday's win over St. Mary's. One that Mailer tracked down, but that was in the perfect spot there for Nadia Barbary. It gives the Bulldogs their third hit, puts the tying run on base, and brings up Ella Wesolowski, who's put together 2 ferocious battles against Nigeri Kennedy.
Just the 4th hitter that has had success. We've had 2 base hits. Barbary just having the second there. The 1 walk to the pinch hitter in Lexi Sosa, and then of course the home run from Sierra Sacco. But all those successful at-bats, the one thing they have in common is aggressive early in the count. Even Sosa, who walked, started hacking and was behind 0-2 because of her aggressive approach. Nyjah Kennedy had to expand the zone, and then of course it favored Lexi Sosa. She took those pitches, got the walk. But you see right now, Mississippi State, they know it. You've got to go early. And so you feel that on the counter side for Nyjah. You feel the aggressive approach from an offense. Let's expand the zone. Let's not go cookies. Let's go curve off the plate. Let's go off-speed pitch. Let's go rise over the hands.
That's out of play. 0-2 on Wesolowski with a pinch runner over at first, Kiara Sells. Kaneshiro, the stop, keeps it in front.
I'm not sure what happened there, but you could tell Nyjah walking it off. Maybe just stepped wrong just for a second.
She wasn't happy. Kaneshiro wanted to give it back to her, and she was turned away. Time at the plate.
Must just kind of hit her back hip.
Kaneshiro, out number 2. So it comes down to the freshman at the plate here for the Bulldogs. It was Wesolowski and now Kylie Edwards, who is 0 for 2. Stanford by a run, the tying run on at first.
That's a strike.
Nyjah Kennedy inquiring as to where that pitch missed.
It's because of where Kaneshiro was set up. It was a missed strike. That makes sense. It's supposed to be inside, and it missed over the heart of the plate, but Kaneshiro was set up on the other side of the plate.
Same spot, same result from 3-0 to 3-2. Crowd rises as Kennedy is a strike away from finishing off this game. It would make a long night for Mississippi State and a relaxing rest of the day for Stanford. 3-2 pitch, popped up, Kern, and the ball game is over. Stanford's a winner, 2-1, and the number 8 national seed behind 13 strikeouts from Nyjah Kennedy is a win away from going to Supers.
And that concludes the afternoon's game.
Stanford knows how important this game is. They need to rest that young lady right there, Nyjah Kennedy. We will see her tomorrow in the championship against whoever is going to make it out of today. But this is a team, not a lot of offense, but it's enough for the best pitcher in the country. 13 strikeouts. Mississippi State made it close. They had great at-bats. The one home run from Sierra Sacco, you do not see that very often, but coming up 1 run short.
Well, when we came on the air today, you said this was the game that you expected from Stanford,
Yeah.
right? This is the lower scoring game. Yesterday they put 8 on the board, today 2, and that gets the job done. When we come back here to Smith Family Stadium, we'll be joined by Nyjah Kennedy to get her insight on this performance.
take it, but I'm not giving Jade Berry anything good to hit here.
One eye level, one knee high. 1-1 with runners at second and third. Berry gets one she likes, lifts it to left. Plenty of room for St. Clair, and the inning is over. So Everett with 2 scoreless frames, helping keep Mississippi State in it. And Sierra Sacco, the top of the line.